Not feeling it much.
We're live. We're live. Kachunga, my friends. Kachunga. It is I, Trev the Rev. And I ain't no vicar. It's true, I'm not. Truly, I'm not. No, I'm not. Woo. Yes, it's Trev the Rev. And welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Anything can happen because, as you know, I do this live. And anything can happen, including a cat walking across the keyboard, which has happened in the past. Ooh, misses. Ooh, misses. Now, as usual, we're going to start with a bad joke. Here you go. That's a bad joke.
Buckingham Palace has announced the Queen's new live comedy tour of the UK. It's called We're Amused.
You can see the tumbleweed going across the screen, can't you? It gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. It gets worse. What? Wow, what's worse can it get? I don't know. How much worse can these jokes get? No. Well, I'm going to start the show today with a bit of rant and rave. And I think it's disgusting that state that the public are leaving places in at the moment, swarming with go to down to the beaches, and next thing you know, there's fights in the beaches and stuff. Why? What's the point? No, it's respect goes a long way. And there's a thing called rubbish bins. You know, I saw someone on Facebook the other day where someone's car was actually photographed when they threw rubbish on the floor when there was a bin about an arm's length away from the car. Really? There you go. That is my rant and rave out of the way. What have we got for you today? We're talking about the Black Knight in a minute. And I don't mean the character from Marvel Comics or the Monty Python and the Holy Grail. A different of a Black Knight. And we are doing another Did You Know section. Did you know? And before you, where is it? What's it going to be about? You'll find out in a little while. Here's a clue. It's a place. And it's connected to one of my favourite foods. What can it be? Ooh. But first things first. We are talking about Black Knight. So, what is the Black Knight? Well, the Black Knight is an alien satellite that is in a retrograde orbit around the Earth. Now, I believe that means it's a counterclockwise orbit. I'm not 100% sure on that. I could be wrong. Right. There are currently more than 1,100 satellites orbiting the Earth. Going round, down, from space junk, high-tech probes transmitting signals back to Earth. One of these satellites is thought to be of extraterrestrial origin. And has been circling around our planet. Prior to the launch of Sputnik, this mysterious spacecraft is known as the Black Knight satellite, alleged to be of alien provenance and covered up by NASA for more than 60 years. Yeah, I don't mean NASA's gone up in a space shuttle and put a blanket over it. Ugh. Whilst most man-made satellites orbit in prograde due to the ease and fuel efficiency of using the Earth's natural gravitational pull, the Black Knight is said to orbit in retrograde, adding to its curious nature. So it means it goes round the Earth in the opposite direction which the Earth spins. Hey, is it actually an alien satellite monitoring our planet? Or simply a thermal space blanket like NASA has claimed photo evidence for it to be? Now, recently, a series of fast radio bursts was picked up by Stephen Hawking's Breakthrough Listen initiative, which some have speculated could be coming from the technology of an advanced extraterrestrial species. And a found helm. This wouldn't be in the first time a scientist picked up signals from the cosmos and believed it to be an alien origin. Nearly a century ago, Nikola Tesla claimed to have recorded electrical signals at his laboratory in Colorado Springs that were of intelligent nature. Tesla had been working on this technology from his Wardenclyffe Tower. Hey, I pronounced the long word correctly. Woo! When he noticed signals which were not of earthly origin. Ooh. And could be ruled out as being weather-related. He believed the signals were being transmitted from a civilization on Mars, so he developed a device to send signals back out to make contact. Tesla was arguably the most well-versed in radio signal transmission at the time. Having pioneered the technology, so it's hard to imagine he would have been confused by any earthly interference. Ooh, misses. Now, no one knows exactly where these signals were, but some believe they may have been a transmission from the Black Knight satellite. Not long after Tesla reception, an amateur radio operator in Norway named Jorgen Hulls recorded transmissions called long delayed echoes, or LDE. Stanford professor Ron Bracewell proposed the idea that these echoes were the product of an alien satellite picking up radio signals from Earth and rebroadcasting them back, creating a delay of several seconds. Some speculate that the Black Knight could be this theoretical transmitter known as a Bracewell probe. In the early 1970s, this is getting back now when I was born, a man named Duncan Lennon reinterpreted and examined these LDEs, concluding they were too strong to simply be echoed radio signals from Earth. Lennon said he translated the signals and, to his surprise, found a map of Epsilon Bootis, a primary, that word doesn't even exist, a binary star in the Bootis system. Although Lunan doesn't like his interpretation of the LDE associated with the conspiracy found in the Black Knight, there are similarities in nature and timelessness. Ooh. Ooh. I don't mean Batman. Batman's a Dark Knight, not the Black Knight. In 1954, a few news reports claim the US Air Force had discovered 2 satellites orbiting the Earth. Round, down, round, down, round. With the first man-made satellite, Sputnik, not launching for another 3 years, the discovery was surprising. But the Air Force was not the only government agency to notice the satellites. The Venezuelan Communications Ministry also noticed their presence a few years later whilst tracing Sputnik. The ministry noted that these satellites were moving from east to west in retrograde orbit. Aside from the fact that they were only a few artificial satellites in orbit at the time, none would have been in retrograde orbit. That was all going the same way. 1954, Donald Keyhoe found a satellite was found orbiting Earth. Keyhoe was originally a Marine naval aviator who later became the most prominent name in ufology, establishing the National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena, or NICAP. Keyhoe's claim was picked up by the San Francisco Examiner and St. Louis Post-Dispatch. According to the articles, Keyhoe said the Secretary of the Air Force, Harold Talbot, was aware of the satellite and had even witnessed a silvery disc-shaped object in the sky, though Talbot dismissed his claims. Another confounding characteristic of the Black Knight was the fact that it was circling the Earth in a polar orbit, a feat not accomplished by man-made satellites until 1960. This type of orbit is typically used for mapping, reconnaissance, and tracking, and often is done in a sun-synchronous orbit. So each time a satellite passes a particular spot, it is the same time of day. The combination of retrogrades and polar orbits make this type of satellite stick out, especially in the late 50s and early 60s when satellite technology was in its nascent phases. And it wasn't just military entities who photographed an unidentified satellite, but also the Smithsonian Observatory at Harvard, as well as the Grumman Aircraft Corporation in New York. The story of the Black Knight gets even more bizarre with the French Space Commission's observation of the satellite. Whilst Jacques Vallée was on staff, despite excitement and intrigue by Vallée and his colleagues, a senior member of his team deleted the imaging of the satellite. For reasons unknown, while Vallée said he believed it was out of embarrassment for the Commission's inability to identify the orbiting object, it was becoming increasingly common for agencies around the world to notice unidentified satellite without explanation. There are several pictures circulating the internet of what is thought to be the Black Knight. These pictures, according to NASA, are images of a thermal cover dropped during a spacewalk or during some type of extravehicular activity on the International Space Station. During this exposition, one astronaut purposely finished his mission early and was asked to cover the space station's trunnion pins with thermal covers. The astronaut was asked to complete this as a free-floating task, despite not having the cover properly attached, inevitably losing track of it as it floated off. When asked later, I will get back to the thing in a minute. When asked later, I lost my space. Where was I? See. There's nothing like losing your place in your notes and you can't work out where you were. Right. Anyway, when asked later which pin he lost the cover to, he said he couldn't remember and that he was too upset with himself to think about it. NASA maintains that the photographs most people point to as evidence of the Black Knight are images of this thermal cover. There's also a video of the astronauts inside the base station, filming and photographing the cover as it floats away. It is entirely possible that NASA's claims are true. There are plenty of similarities between the thermal cover and the images believed to be. There aren't, however, sufficient explanations of sightings and documentations of a satellite from the 1950s and 60s by numerous government and scientific agencies. In 1963, whilst orbiting Earth, astronaut Gordon Cooper reported seeing a glowing green light ahead of his Mercury 9 module. He reported it to the Australian Space Command, who were able to track it. Oddly enough, when Cooper returned to Earth, he was not allowed to talk about the light, in which officially reported he had suffered hallucinations from excess of carbon dioxide in his cavern. Despite NASA's attempt to explain what Cooper saw with more mundane explanation, he continued throughout his life to divulge stories that detailed his experiences with UFOs and other unexplained phenomena. He often spoke of attempting government cover-ups regarding UFOs and explained activities so it could be probable he saw the Black Knight, realizing his existence was deliberately being withheld from the public. So that is the Black Knight. So first things first, you're asking me, what do I think it is? Well, I do believe there was nothing to say. Another race from another planet, satellite around the Earth. Keep an eye on us. It'd be a good way to watch us and listen and keep track of what we're doing without, introducing themselves. So it could be. I believe it could be. I think it is actually, but then it's a thought, doesn't it? They're watching our every move. They're watching the human race wreck the planet. Oh, I don't know. It's it makes you think. Really does make you think, doesn't it? Really does make you think. But tell me what you think. Let me know what you think of the Black Knight satellite. What do you think it is? I love to hear your views, and I do. I love to hear your views. And now we go on to my favourite section. It's becoming my favourite section of the show. We're moving on to the Did You Know section. Did you know? Did you know? Did you know? And we start the section up by me going. Did you know? And we're talking about Italy. Just drunk on it, or give it to me. Not bloody likely it's 50p. That shows my age. Clips from an advert from the 80s. Right. Did you know facts about Italy? Did you know nobody really knows where Italy got its name? Italy comes from a root word that means land of young cattle. Historians speculate it might be named this because the bull was a symbol of early southern Italian tribes, but some believe it comes from the name Italus, an early king of the region. Did you know Italy is the fourth most populated place in Europe, mostly because of high birth rates and low death rates? Italy is about the size of Arizona, but the population of Italy is about 10 times the population of the state, with approximately 60 million people living in Italy, as opposed to 6 million in Arizona. Approximately 320 people live in every square mile in Italy, about 200 per kilometre. Did you know Rome? Italy is home to hundreds of fountains, with the oldest being the Trevi Fountain. Rome has 50 large fountains and a great many small ones, not including the Nasoni, which are small water spouts used by pedestrians. The Trevi Fountain is more than 86 feet high and comes from an aqueduct originally built in 19 BC. The fountain was built by Pope Urban VIII in the mid-1600s. A popular legend states that visitors who throw a coin into the Trevi Fountain are assured of a return visit to Rome. Coins are collected weekly. Italian coins go to help pay for upkeep of the fountain, and foreign coins are donated to the Red Cross. There you go. Did you know Italy stands on a fault line? Ooh. Italy is plagued with earthquakes. Because of this, also 3 volcanoes have erupted there in the last 100 years. Now, Stromboli and Vesuvius That means I can't pronounce it. Did you know? Did you know? Italy is home to the highest mountain in Europe. It is called Mont Blanc, or White Mountain in English, and it is part of the Alps mountain range. It is in Italy on the border of France. Did you know? More than 50 million tourists visit Italy every year. Tourism is an important part of Italy's gross national product. More than 60% of the country's income comes from tourist dollars spent there. Here's one. Here's one for all the hooligans out there. Did you know soccer is the most popular organised sport in Italy, otherwise known as football? Italians are rabid soccer fans. They're known as tifosi, which means typhus carriers. It's a national pastime, and Italians are highly passionate about the game. Did you know Christmas is the biggest holiday of the year in Italy? Christmas season is much longer too. Christmas dinner is usually on Christmas Eve, and the season lasts until January the 6th, until in Epiphany, or the date generally believed to have been when the three wise men found the manger of Jesus. They can't have been that wise, could they? It's taken that long to go, you know. Did you know pasta, one of my favourite foods, wasn't eaten with tomato sauce until the 1600s in Italy? Until then, it was generally eaten with honey and sugar. Today, there are more than 500 varieties of pasta eaten in Italy. The last one. It's the last one. It's the last one. Ooh. Did you know musical notations are always in Italian? Allegro, adagio, these are Italian words that indicate temper and came about because an Italian named Guido Alizio came up with a system for modern day musical notations. Did you know that? Did you know any of those facts I come out with? Did you know any of those facts indeed? Eh? Did you know any of those facts? Let me know if you did. Let me know you did. Let me know if you'd like me to do a Did You Know about anything in particular. I'm sure I will. Just let me know in the comments. Lead me and let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like me to do a Did You Know section. So we come to the end of the show. The end of the show. The show. I say, if you've enjoyed this show, if you have enjoyed it, please hit that thumbs up. 2 seconds. I'm sad. I'm sad at the moment. Who is it? Who is it? All goes quiet. No, the screen hasn't frozen. The screen hasn't frozen. The screen hasn't frozen. I apologise for that. I apologise. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. So if you've liked the show, if you've enjoyed this show, please hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't done so already, and you want to see some more of these bizarre shows I put out, please subscribe to my show. It's just down the bottom of the screen down there. And if you want to know when these are coming out, just ring that bell and you'll be told when it's coming out. And please tell your friends about the show. Please tell them about the show. On that note, say Chibalob from me to you. I'm Trev the Rev. I ain't no vicar saying